Music can completely change how people perceive a video. It can also make the video significantly more impactful when done right. So in this lesson, we'll discuss how to find the right music for your edit, how to add sound effects, and also how to match your music with your video. The first question I usually get is, Tina, do you pick your music first, then create the edit, or do you make the edit and then pick an audio for it? Well, the answer is both. If there is a trend that uses a particular audio, then I will start with that audio, either download the video from social media or screen record the video if I can't download it, and bring it with me when I film. When filming, I will play the audio in the background so that I can match my motions to the music to the best of my ability. If there's minor differences, I can always match it up later. But oftentimes I will have a video where I know the concept I want to do, but I don't have a music in mind yet. In that case, I'll make the video first and then worry about finding a matching audio later. So if I'm looking for an audio to match my edits, where do I find my audios? First of all, I follow a few DJs and artists on TikTok that have been known to come up with very viral songs, such as Ian Asher, It's Joven, and also Connor Price, an artist. And other than that, I just save a lot of audios into my saved folders on both TikTok and Instagram whenever I'm browsing, which is pretty much every single day. In order to import the song into editing apps to match my clips, I usually either download it directly on TikTok or I screen record my screen while the music is playing. Once you have the video of the audio downloaded, this is how to extract the audio and import it into apps like CapCut or InShot. First, you want to go into your timeline and then tap on Audio and Extract. Now, all you have to do is go to the audio you just downloaded, and the audio has been extracted from that particular video. The second way to do this is to add a new video, add the video that you have just downloaded, and then extract the audio from that video. So if you scroll all the way over with the clip selected, you'll find a button called Extract Audio right here. And just tap on that and you'll see the audio extracted. Now you can move the audio anywhere along the timeline, same as this other one that you had imported through extraction. And you can also trim it, you can increase the volume, decrease the volume. You can also do fades in the beginning, in the back, and do various kinds of, all the same effects that you could do to any audio clip essentially, now that it is extracted. Inside InShot, the process to import your music is almost exactly the same. So you can go to Music and select Music, then you can go to Extract Audio from Video and simply select any audio from your timeline and then extract it. You can also trim it and do a fade in, fade out, and add it to your timeline like this. Again, you can also do the same thing where you add the video to your timeline and then extract it from your timeline. Let's just say we're going to add this video, and then right now we want to extract the audio. All you have to do is go to Volume, and here there is an Extract Audio button. And now the audio has been extracted and separated from this video clip. One more concept that's important to understand when you extract a video is that it is now no longer linked to your video. So whatever you do to the audio, whether you move it around on the timeline, is no longer linked or related to the video clip, which now has no audio. Now inside VN Video Editor, it's also a very similar process. Tap on the Music button and then go to Music and then My Music. And now you can choose Extract from Video and then just choose any video on your timeline that you want to extract the audio from. Let's say just any random video. And you can add it to a new album. You can call it Extracted Audios, or you can call it anything that is suitable for your particular project. Now you can simply tap on the extracted audio folder and choose whatever music that you want to use. You can customize it before you import it, trim it, and just enter it into the timeline. And now you can see it is inside the audio layer on the timeline. You can also extract any audio from a video on the timeline. You just have to go in to the button that says Extract Audio right here, tap it and it will extract the audio, and it will separate the audio from the video again, and it is inside the audio part of the timeline right here. One more thing I want to point out is that if you have extracted your audio into your video, if you want to recover it, simply tap on recover audio and the audio will be recovered back onto the video clip, and you'll see that now you can adjust the volume and so on. But your extracted audio is still on the timeline. So let's say if you want, for some reason, 2 copies of the audio from the video, you want one to be attached to the video itself, and then you want one that has been extracted. This is how you would do that. The same thing goes for videos inside VN Video Editor where the audio has been extracted. You can tap on Restore Audio and it will restore the audio on the video that you have extracted the audio from. And the audio that you have extracted is still on your audio timeline. However, I do want to point out that in InShot, it doesn't have this function. There is no recover audio function. And if you go into the video now, you'll see that there's no volume there. And so the audio is simply on the timeline. And in terms of the songs that I look for, it really depends on the video concept. But for me, I gravitate towards songs that have a clear beat drop or a catchy beat. In addition to looking on social media, I also look for songs on a website called Epidemic Sound that I pay a monthly subscription for. It's basically a collection of music and sound effects that I can use, and I pay for the usage rights, including being able to use the sounds on paid ads. This is because I frequently work with brands that want to boost my content and put paid ads behind them, so I need to purchase the rights to use the music in that context. If you don't need the rights to run ads for your content, then just pay for the personal plan. Here's a demonstration of how to import the music into any editing app. Now let's say you have downloaded a multimedia chime from Epidemic Sound, a sound effect or a song. You can simply drag it and airdrop it. If you're an Android user, you may have to upload it to a drive and then download it onto your phone. Once you have dropped the audio onto your phone or downloaded it from a drive, if you have an Android, now you can just go into your settings of this particular audio file and choose the app that you want to import it into. Now, if you choose CapCut, simply import and it will go directly into your timeline. Another way you can do this is go directly to Sounds and then go to the folder icon and go to Device. And from here, you can select from Device and it will take you to your Files folder. And from here, you can go to either Recent or you can search for the particular file name and you can import it like this. And now you can see it has been imported into your folder and you can simply add it to your timeline. Now it is a very similar process inside InShot. So if you go to Music and you choose Import, you can see all the stuff that you have imported, but you can also tap on Import and then decide where you want to import the file from. Do you want to extract it from video, airdrop it, or take it from files like we have now, or use other apps? So we're going to go to Files and let's say we just want to import whatever this particular audio is. And it has now been successfully imported into your imported folder. All you have to do is select it and choose Use, and now it's on your timeline. Now, in order to import audio into VN Video Editor, it's also very much the same process. Go to More, and then you can go to your file folder, or you can go to AirDrop, or use Wi-Fi to transfer, and then you can select from everything that is inside your files. Let's say we want to import these 3, and then tap Open. You can put it into Imported Music, or you can put it into imported sound effects, etc., depending on what it is, and then just import it there. Now you just have to go into the folder and tap on Use. Now every time you'll be able to go into these folders and use that audio. One other place I grab music from is the InShot Music Library. They have a selection of music that you can use, and they just request that you add the description of the music when sharing to the public. Now, I know that one of the most frequently asked questions is how I match the video to the beat so well. So I'm going to demonstrate for you next. Let's take a look inside CapCut at how you would match the video up to the beat well. So first of all, you can see that the music has these sound waves. These can help to give you some indicators of where you want to chop off your clips. However, most of the time, I personally like to listen to the sound and then manually match it up, extend the length or reduce it to match it up. That is how I personally do it, but there is a really easy way that you can match your clips up to the beat. So let's listen to the song first. So you can see that this is matched very well to the beat. I did this entirely manually just by listening to the song. And after I start doing that, I'm starting to see that the clips generally have a similar duration. For example, this one is 1.5 seconds. This is 1.6. This is 1.4. This is longer because I did it in more than just the length of the previous ones, as that's how long that transition takes. And then this is 1.2 and 1.6. So you can see that there is a pattern here in terms of the length. However, if you need some assistance in how to find the beat, then tap on the audio and go to beats. And now what you can do is just tap on auto generate. So now you can see there have been yellow dots generated, and I believe right now they are dotted every quarter note. So there's a lot of beats here, and if you wanted to get that granular with your matching, and if you have many clips where you need to chop them up into tiny little bits, then this is how frequent you may need your beats to be. However, you can see here on the scale it says intense. So what you can do is actually reduce the intensity like this, and now you can see it's half of the number of beats now. And this is the one that I would use because this is how I'm matching my clips. So you can see I start at this yellow beat, and then I transition at the next yellow beat, and then I change to the next clip, transition at the next yellow beat. So now you can see here the pattern in which I'm using to match it up well. And same here, and this beat, they appear, transition to the next clip, and then this beat, they appear, right? So this is how you can easily match your video to the beat with these visual cues, and then you can even reduce the intensity even more if you wish. One more thing is you can also add your own beat. Let's say you have less intense beats, but there are certain places where there are lyrics and specific things that you want to match to. You can always choose that spot and then tap on add beat, and then from there use that as reference to match your clips. So that's how you can really easily use CapCut's beat reference to match your video to the beat. However, I do want to say that every single one of my clips, I match it manually, and I just do it through trial and error, and over time I'm able to really listen to it. Even if I have to listen to it 10 times, 20 times, I'm able to match it up correctly just by listening to it manually as well. This beat function should just be a tool, but ultimately you want to understand your music, you want to be able to count the beats, as well as understand when the most impactful transition happens in your video so that you can match it to the most impactful beat drop. If I have some sort of dialogue in the background, I make sure to lower my music volume a lot so that it doesn't fight with the dialogue and that you can clearly hear what the subjects are saying. And if you're starting a new song from no sound, you may want to use the fade in feature to ensure that the sound gradually fades in, and at the end of videos you can also do a fade out. If you want to connect two songs, you can also fade out of the first song and then fade into the next song and overlay the two songs in the timeline so that they blend seamlessly. The fade in fade out function also comes in really handy when you are looping a video and you want the end to connect better to the beginning. Here's a demonstration on how to make the audio more smooth from the end to the beginning if you have a looping video. So let's say you have this song right here, it's placed onto your timeline and you already know where it ends and this is where your reel finishes. And then this is where your reel loops to the very beginning. So you want to take this beginning audio and place parts of it at the end and match it well to the end. You can see I've already added a fade here at the end because I want to fade out of the song to signify the end of this reel, and then I want to start up again so that it can loop from the beginning. The audio can loop from the beginning. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in, I'm going to find a section roughly like here, just a little bit, and split it. And what I'm going to do is duplicate this and move it all the way to the back. And I'm going to snap it to the end of this last clip. Because imagine if this video was looping right here, the next clip, the next part would be the beginning of the video, right? So the audio would start right here. And so now what you can do is simply drag this audio longer to extend the audio and go back to the end of this clip and trim the audio right here, and now remove the rest of it. And so that this part now will loop seamlessly with this part of the audio. And you have already faded out the last part of this audio. Now what you want to do is just fade in to this part. And because the clips are overlapped and they have a fade in and fade out, it will work seamlessly together so that you fade out of this last part and you fade in into the intro part, and then you loop all the way over again from the very beginning. So that is how you would chop up an audio clip in a looping video in order to make it loop smoother. Next, let's talk about sound effects. A sound effect is basically to help artificially enhance the sound of emotion or exaggerate certain emotions in the video. I use sound effects sparingly when I feel like it's appropriate, but it's definitely much more common amongst creators who come from a more filmmaking background. There are three main places I get my sound effects from. The first is Epidemic Sound. They have an entire section for sound effects. The only problem is that it's not always easy to get the right search term, and you may have to try a few different search terms and sift through many sound effects in order to find the right one for you. I also find sound effects by searching like XYZ sound effect copyright free on YouTube, and it will return a bunch of options to choose from. Then I simply Google YouTube MP3 download, and then I paste the link into these websites and download the MP3 to use as the sound effect audio. The last place I find sound effects is inside the various editing apps that I use. InShot has a selection of sound effects that I occasionally use, so does CapCut, and also VN Video Editor. Some of the sound effects I use the most include the whoosh sound for a whip pan transition, the cork bottle sound for things that pop up, camera shutter sound for overlaying videos, mouse click button for clicking on things or overlaying another media, keyboard typing sounds for typing words, keyboard typing on a phone for typing on a phone, bell sound to signify a correct answer, or a magic trick or a great moment, and cashier sound to represent money, multimedia chimes for pressing buttons and using tech, city ambiance, restaurant noises, heel sounds, and also subway sounds. Here's an example of how much of a difference having sound effects can make. One last thing I want to talk about is once you've exported your video, if you're using a song from the IG music library or from TikTok, you want to make sure to find that original music and match it up to your video. If you upload as your own original audio, you may risk having your audio removed due to copyright issues, so always use the songs inside the platform's music library if it's available. If you're uploading a video that has voiceover or sound effects and you want to add a song from the IG music library or TikTok music library, just remove the music track when exporting it from your editing app, then upload it in the platforms, find the music you are using, lower the volume a lot and increase your original volume to 100%. This way you have combined your own voiceover and sound effects with the song that is from the platform's music library. Now let's talk about voiceovers. A lot of people ask me how I make my voiceovers, and the honest answer is most of the time I just find a quiet room and I just talk directly into my phone. I use the voiceover function in CapCut or the record function in InShot. If you want to record even higher quality audio, then I recommend the Yeti Blue mic. This is a desktop mic that connects to your laptop or computer with a USB cord. I use this for many of my podcast episodes and some of my voiceovers. If I'm out and about, then I use the DJI mic. You can use this little mic and hold it in your hand or clip it onto your clothes and then connect the receiver to your phone, your camera, and start recording clear and crisp audio. What's really neat about this is that you can also use it as a recording device itself without the receiver. You can press this button on the side and it'll start recording audio directly into the device. Then you can connect it to your laptop with a USB cord and copy the audio file to your computer. You can even connect it directly to your phone and go to your files and access it there and directly input it into your editing apps. Here's a demonstration of how to import files from your DJI mic directly by connecting a USB-C cord and then importing it into your editing apps. So go to Files. Here, if you go to Browse and go to the original menu, you'll see a folder called No Name. So this No Name is the DJI mic. And then from here, you can find the audio that you have just recorded and just go in the settings and tap on the app that you want to import it into, whether it's CapCut or an InShot or VN Video Editor, etc. A second way to do this is to go to Sounds and then tap on the folder button and go to Device. Then select from Device and you can go to the Browse and look at the No Name folder again, and then select whichever audio you want to import. And now you can see it has been added to your folder called Device, and you just have to add it to your timeline. Also, I want to point out a function inside CapCut that can be extremely useful for your dialogues, and that is Enhance Voice. It is a pro function, but it's definitely worth paying for Pro to access it if you create a lot of videos with dialogue, and let me show you why. If you have an audio with a lot of background noise, this function can truly make a huge difference. Let's listen to the before Enhanced Voice.
Is turmeric infused sticky rice.
Turmeric infused sticky rice.
Now let's turn on Enhance Audio. I have already applied this before, so the speed is really fast. You just have to toggle it on. But usually when you toggle on Enhance Voice, it will take quite a while to process it, enhance the voice. So you may have to wait a little bit. And right now it's already on, so let's take a listen.
Turmeric infused sticky rice.
Turmeric infused sticky rice.
So it does an incredible job. However, it really does depend on the clip. Sometimes if you overdo it, the voice may sound a little funky. So you do have to experiment a little bit at the percentage of the cleanup you want. You could reduce the percentage in order to keep some of that background noise and also sometimes keep the voice sounding more natural. So let's see if you can hear the difference with the noise cleanup at 50%.
Turmeric infused sticky rice.
Turmeric infused sticky rice.
So how much you want to enhance the voice and clean up the background noise is up to you, and it also depends on the audio clip. But this is a super powerful tool. If you didn't have good audio the day of your recording, this is a really great way to salvage it. Even if you did use, let's say, an external mic, sometimes it's still a little bit like a zzz sound or just a bit of background noise, then in that case you can definitely use Enhanced Voice just to level it up a little bit. However, I do want to say that it is best if you can ideally record the audio well when you are filming, because Enhanced Voice can't fix everything. It's more of an AI function, and there will definitely be moments where the background noise was just too much or there were too many overlapping voices and it cannot enhance the voice. And so it is still better to record the voice right in the moment.
Compared to enhanced voice, I actually find the reduced noise in CapCut or the denoise in InShot don't really do so good of a job at removing the noise, so I don't really recommend those functions. One last pro function inside CapCut I want to point out that is really crazy is the isolate voice function.
So isolate voice sounds like exactly what it is. What it means is it will isolate the voice that is in the audio from the background noise or the background music. And I was really shocked when I saw how this works, but this video is where I have a background music that I have added, plus I have a dialogue. So let's take a quick listen and then we're going to apply the isolate voice to show you what it's like.
So you want to learn how to edit like a pro, but you don't have a camera or pay for professional software, and all you have is your phone.
Okay, so get the idea. There's a lot of background music. So now what you want to do is tap on the video and go to isolate voice and say keep voice and let it do its job. And here it is isolated.
But you don't have a camera or pay for professional software, and all you have is your phone. No, wait, this phone.
That's pretty incredible, right? Pretty much it will isolate your voice so that it is nice and clean and there's no background music. Now you can also do the remove voice option, and let's take a listen to that. Okay, so that is the incredible isolate voice function. Honestly, I don't know what scenario I would need this for, but because it is super cool, I wanted to show you this function in case it ever comes in handy.
And one more thing I want to mention about audio tracks on your timeline is that once they are extracted from a video or you imported them separately, if you move some of the clips in the beginning, it can also affect the placement of the audio. For instance, if you have an extracted audio later in the timeline and you trim the clips in the front of the timeline, oftentimes the audio will then get displaced in the timeline and therefore end up being mismatched to its video. This is a small issue as you just need to adjust the audio on the timeline, but it's good to know so you're not confused when the audio and video don't match up. I actually demonstrate inside the advanced duplication edit tutorial because it's very dialogue heavy, so definitely check that out. Overall, understanding how to add the right audio and sound effects can really make a huge difference to your video edits. Searching for the right audio can take time, and matching the audio to the video can take some practice. But over time, you'll definitely see a difference in the final outcome of your videos.